different energy, right?
Then it's another thing to commit to it.
Right. So UncleJamz, where'd you get that name? How'd that come about?
That name came from the drummer and leader of Midnight Star. I went into one of their rehearsals one day, and his name is Bobby Lovelace, and he said, "Here comes UncleJamz, the man that comes up with all the hooks and all the songs." And it just kind of stuck, So it's like, I be jamming, so I'm UncleJamz.
Stuck.
Now, there is another UncleJamz, and that's George Clinton of Parliament Funkadelic, but he spells his Jams. Mine is Jamz. Don't get it twisted.
There you go. Hey, Mr. Johnson, with your musical ear, how can you tell if a song is crappy and if it's really good?
Wow. That can be a very subjective thing.
Mm-hmm.
I have a reputation that I can feel out talent. People have always said, he's got this ear for talent. And I guess it's just sort of an innate thing, because nowadays there's a lot of the new music that I really don't personally like. And I don't understand how people like it. But at the end of the day, what is important is that people like it. Right. And it doesn't matter if I personally like it. It matters if people like it. But I still think that there's too much what I call cookie cutter music, where there's almost like there's a template and people are doing the same sort of thing. And I think a lot of the music is too vulgar. I think a lot of it is too... I like the days when people like Marvin Gaye had songs like "What's Going On,"
telling a story,
City Blues, songs that had more message, or songs that dealt more with, and when they were ballads, that dealt more with romance rather than immediately going right to the bedroom with no getting the first and last name or whining and dining. Nowadays it doesn't seem to matter. It's like you don't even have to kiss. It's just like boom, shakalaka is right there. The times have changed, but everything that changes is not always, in my opinion, for the better. But I do try to keep an open ear to where we are now, and I try to filter out that which I can deal with now and that which I think is crap. And I'm not going to mention any artist names here because I don't do that.
I was just about to ask you that, man.
There are some people that are making some records and I'm just like,
how?
I don't get it, and it's like it's influencing our young people. It's making our young brothers be more thug, gang oriented, more criminal minded, and it's making our young females being thoughts. It's making them be ratchet. And I like ladylike behavior. What's wrong with being ladylike and what's wrong with being a gentleman? We got guys calling girls man. We got girls calling each other bruh. We've really got some crazy stuff going on now. And I don't know. I think we need to get a handle on it, but I don't know. Maybe the train has left the station. Shut up, I'm an OG,
Right.
Yeah, what's crazy? Man, if I'm in the car with my daughter and I'm listening to the radio, I can't have her listen to the radio anymore. I got to put on, I'm like, you know what, baby, this is what daddy grew up listening to. You know what I'm saying? I put on some old school music that I grew up listening to, and she was like, okay, and she be bobbing to it, she listened to it, and she like it. My wife is a huge 90s, 80s, even 70s R&B junkie. Whenever we go on a road trip, that's all we listening to.
Right.
From Pandora. That's all we listen to. My daughter, 14 years old, and she can sing some old Whitney Houston songs right now.
Right. What's really interesting is a lot of our rappers, they like a lot of the old school R&B, which is really weird, even though they're making a whole different kind of music. Because usually when you expose our younger people to the good classic music, they're like, oh yeah, that's not so bad. But then if the only thing you know is the Ratchet People, almost said some names of artists. If the only thing you know is such and such and such and such, and that's your beginning and your ending, then I think you're in trouble. You know, if you got, it's like fast food. It's a thing called
things.
It's like a doctor will tell you excess is what causes the problem. You know, like if you just have a little bit of a McDonald's, but not eat McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's every day.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the problem. I think a lot of our young people get a steady diet of artists like such and such and such and such and such and such and such, and they're not exposed to anything any different than that. And I think therein lies the problem.
I mean, you listen to the old tracks and you hear, you know, they're telling a story. Nowadays, I can't follow. I can't follow the music. It's like, where were we going? You know, and it's different now. When I listen, I mean, when I think about it, you say that, you know, you started writing songs early, correct?
Yeah, I think